Welcome back. Still playing Super Mario 64. I still have very little idea what I'm doing. I know it doesn't seem like it.
Penguin.
Shut right the fuck up.
Penguin.
Penguin.
Pangolins.
Wah.
Wah! I never played Mario Party. I never played GoldenEye.
Going back onto the conversation we had in the last episode.
Yeah, I never played GoldenEye. I never played Mario Party.
I never played GoldenEye.
I didn't have friends when I was little.
Me either.
I did.
That's why I hate multiplayer games still.
I always had friends that didn't have the multiplayer.
See, I had one friend, and he was the friend who I played N64 with. He got me into Zelda, who got me into Kirby, and still I pretty much only played Crystal Shards.
Never played a Kirby game.
You're playing Crystal Shards if we ever find it.
Crystal Shards is great.
You'll play it and get through it, and then we'll finish it. 'Cause that one will 100%. The boss fight is fucking awesome.
Alright.
But, I was the sad guy that had Mario Party and
But
had
no
it
friends.
100% all under my own accord.
Yeah.
See, I had cousins. They came over and they played. Good job.
See, I would be talking right now, but I'm just trying to focus on this.
Anyone that's ever played this game, you know what this part is like.
Yay.
Now do it again.
What did that
faster.
accomplish?
Nothing.
Oh, wonderful.
There you go.
Hey, look at that.
You gotta start with walking out the door.
Penguin!
Well, the All-Stars are that easy to get.
No! Penguin!
Do I get a star for killing you, baby penguin?
Yes.
Good. Oh. But yeah, I had a very sad childhood.
No, I know I
Good
had
for
a
you.
sad, I know I had a sad childhood because I had a copy of Pokemon Blue that had 200 hours logged in it.
I'm not sure if I've told this on FILP, but my older brother was big into Pokemon before I was, and he got me into it. He gave me my first cards. My first card was a Tangela. Wow, why did that happen? Anyway,
Boing.
my first card was a Tangela. It was from the Jungle expansion. Probably my favorite expansion next to Fossil. He gave me his old copy of Pokemon Red, which had like everything on it. I'm not sure if he game characters or not, but he had a Mewtwo on there. And so when he gave me his Game Boy and Pokemon Red, you know, I looked at it and I saw, dude, you have like a full Pokédex and you have Mewtwo. So I'm not going to start a new game because Mewtwo's really hard to get. And little did I know you can get Mewtwo in normal play. Where's the mama penguin?
You gotta keep moving forward.
My first Pokemon card, I don't remember what expansion it came from. I'm guessing the original, but it was a Charmander.
Yeah, Charmander was original.
It was given to me by one of the guys that actually lived across from my house.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that's why I love Fire Pokemon still, because that was the first card I owned. But, I know that when I first started Pokemon, like, when I got a copy of Red that was mine,
Fuck the penguin.
you need
Fuck the penguin.
don't touch the penguin, it's only a baby.
Wah.
But, I know the first time I got a hold of Pokemon Red, I went with Squirtle. Because even though I was like 6, I was like, oh, if I'm fighting Brock, I better have a water type.
Yeah.
So that was the first Pokemon I started with in game. But after that, always a fire type. Unless the fire type was so god awful. See Gen 3 on.
Yay!
Fucking Torchic was great.
Yeah, Torchic was
I always go with the water starters.
I like Squirrel better than Charmander.
always go with the water, except for black and white.
I went with the water for black and white.
No, black and white. Me and a group of my friends went to the midnight release of Black and White at our local game store. And we got them. I pride myself on saying I was one of the first people on the East Coast of the United States to get Pokemon White version. But they started slightly before me, and they chose Oshawott and Snivy, respectively. So, of course, I was stuck with Tepe. Because, you know, there are three of us, and we each had to pick one to start. It was reasonable, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I started with Tepe, and I fell in love with Tepe. I love my Tepe. I named him Kevin.
See, when Black and White came out, I didn't have the money. That was the one generation that I had to 100% skip out on.
I didn't because I had somebody buy me the game for the flat so I can get it.
See,
By the way, that was Caleb.
Black and White came out, and I'm like, I can't get it. So I kind of blocked its existence out.
Yeah.
Then Black and White 2 came out, and I hardly knew about it.
I actually got that one.
And it kind of felt bad to me that I didn't have that game, because I had played Red Blue, I had played Gold Crystal, I had Sapphire within a few months of it coming out as a birthday gift.
Mm.
I got a hold of Pearl,
Diamond!
and then Gen 5 came out, and I just had to skip it. It wasn't a voluntary thing. It was just circumstances. But then, just as X and Y get announced, I'm like, okay, I've got to catch up. I looked through the Pokedex for Black and White, and I'm like, good fucking lord. What the hell happened? This was supposed to be the New York-based generation. This is the American area. And we just got, hands down, to me, one of the worst grouping of Pokemon. Now, I'm not shitting on the entire thing. I actually wound up kind of liking PETA. I love Vanillish.
Ugh.
And
What's wrong with
Trubbish. Mainly because they're unique enough that I like them. It's not a fact of how stupid they are, they're unique. But you know, it pissed me off because we got stuff like it. PETA, I like it, but it pisses me off. It's a pigeon. Pigeons are the retarded rats in the sky.
There's Joltik.
Yeah, bugs.
Oh, that's
I
really
like
fun.
Joltik. I really do.
So
It's cute. But it turns into a tarantula.
I didn't.
Triggers.
I didn't evolve it.
But I do like Galvantula in the end. But it was bad. And I really like the Pokemon theater thing that you got in the second
That was
Black and
fun.
White set. So I never finished Black 2 or White 2 or
I
whatever.
have not finished White.
Because I got stuck at the Pokemon movie stuff. I
Yeah.
just did that repeatedly.
Wait, you didn't get any more badges or anything?
I got enough badges to get to the Pokemon theater, and then I just became a movie star. I gave up my Pokemon dream to become a movie star. And
I got stuck at the
it was
elite
wonderful because now, if I choose to continue, I've got 200 plus like milks and lemonades and revives because people just gave me presents.
As for Pokemon, like I said, I was given Red and my first Game Boy. And then I got Gold soon after it came out. I actually remember going to Cerebi.com around the time it was started for news on Gold and Silver. So I got Gold shortly after it came out, and Gen 2 is probably my favorite generation.
Oh, definitely.
And then I skipped Gen 3 just because I didn't have a GBA at that time. Pokemon Diamond was the first video game I ever pre-ordered. And then Black and White was next, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Black and White, I already told the story of that. I went to the midnight release of both Black and White 1 and 2. And then X and Y, I almost skipped out on because I couldn't afford a 3DS. This was, when I started having to fend for myself, a couple months back. And then my girlfriend at the time bought me for my birthday a 3DS XL and Pokemon X. No, Y. Yeah, Y. And so I have those. I haven't beaten them yet because I just haven't had the time to sit down and play them.
Mm-hmm.
But I really like them.
See, for me, Gen 2 was the best to me.
Yeah.
But then when X and Y came out, it's my favorite generation at this point. Because
Yeah, that's a good one.
while Nostalgia Glasses still paint gold as one of the best, X and Y changed the series up for the better so much that it brought a new life to the game, to the series for me. Because I was starting to get burnt out.
Yeah.
Diamond and Pearl, I was already starting to win. I finished it. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't like, it didn't capture me the way Gen 2 and 3 did.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I wasn't so devastated at skipping out of 5. But then when 6 came out, it was like, okay, no more sprites. All the Pokemon have their animations. There was Pokemon and Me. The breeding was revolutionized. You could customize your characters. It had Wonder Trade, which,
Oh yeah, I've spent entire evenings just Wonder Trading.
mm-hmm. I 100%ed that. I have everything on the Pokedex. I breed stuff for my friends to the level that it could be a competitive Pokemon.
What's the order?
I don't remember.
23 is number 1.
You gotta learn it.
I had started off, my cousin Barry gave me Pokemon Yellow. And then I totally skipped Golden Crystal and all that. Didn't know much about the second gen at all. That's why, it's not like everyone's like, oh, it's like my favorite gen. I'm like, I played Emerald, but it was I wasn't really into Pokemon then. Well, then my friends were like, hey, Michelle, this game's coming out. It's called Diamond and Pearl. It's Pokemon. Come play it with us. Come get it. We'll all play it together. That's what brought me back to Pokemon. That's why the 4th gen is my favorite gen, because that's what brought me back to Pokemon. 5th gen I was not excited about. Caleb had to buy it for me or I was not touching it. Because I was not thrilled with any of the starters. I was just not happy with it. I didn't like any of the Pokemon. And then the 6th gen, once I found out you could, I wasn't even into it. I was like, no, I'm done. I don't want to mess with Pokemon after the 5th gen. It sucks. Once I saw that you could pet Pokemon, I was like, that's mine! And then I got it like a couple days after I discovered you can pet Pokemon.
With X and Y, the only other generation I ever filled a Pokedex on was Blue. That's the one that I had the 200 plus out.
Yeah.
But I had Red too, so I had been trading and resetting and trading all that. But I never had Mew. Because I never bothered to learn the whole
Yeah,
glitch.
I know the Mew glitch on Yellow, but that's all I know.
One of my friends in, I guess it was 6th grade, was like, yeah, I have Mew, I glitched Yellow to get it. I'm like, oh, please, can I have it? And boom, copy of Blue, 151 Pokemon. After that, I never 100%ed it again because of how much work went into Blue. Because Gold, it was the same way, because I didn't know what breeding was.
Yeah.
Gen 3 came out, and it's like, we aren't giving you all the Pokemon. So, they cut out half of the game. Diamond and Pearl, same issue.
Yeah, they decided to just be like only certain Pokemon
Yeah.
in one game, and I'm like, oh, you don't.
That's been in there from the
No,
start.
my issue was those legendaries that were only from events that you have to go to.
Oh, yeah.
That too.
No.
And that's why I never filled out a dex. And then when Gen 6 came out, I just buckled down and started busting ass to get a hold of everything. I have a living dex, and I'm not transferring it over to,
Pokemon Bank.
no, not Bank, Omega and Alpha when it comes
yeah.
out, because I consider Gen 6 to be the end of the gen, since Ruby and Sapphire are going to be remakes. I'm considering them like prequels, I guess you would say.
Well, we'll have to see where they place on the timeline.
Yeah,
Because we don't know if they're remakes or retelling.
but I don't see Omega and Sapphire having the same finished feel as X and Y to me.
Yeah.
Because like X and Y, I consider it finished just because you've got your own customization. It's the official Pokedex ending, if you will.
Yeah.
Because Gen 3 was, you know, it ends with what? Jirachi, Deoxys?
Yeah.
That's where Gen 3 ends. To me, Gen 6 is where it ends with,
Well, unless there are 3 Pokemon. Yeah, Hoopa, Diancie, and something else.
Volcanion. And they're releasing Deoxys, with X, or with Omega and Sapphire.
Yeah, so I'm thinking if they only release those in Ruby and Sapphire, then that might...
But it will be you will be able to transfer it over.
Okay,
My
so you're
question is, will the Mega Stones from Ruby and Sapphire transfer over as well?
Can you? Yeah, you can pay Pokemon this stuff, so why not?
But that's the thing, the people that were doing the whole data mining, they only revealed. Next time on FILP, we'll keep talking about this.